Yeah, I'm saying, mate, listen, I don't know how we're doing this, but for like 80% of the time, we look like we haven't got a clue. And then for that 20%, we're on it. And thank God we're able to be ruthless enough to take the 3 points and get those chances taken. It was a tale of two halves once again, really, wasn't it?
Yes, no, definitely. What changed? What brought it back into our favour? Because obviously the first 70 minutes or 80 minutes, as you said, weren't great. But what's brought it back into Spurs' hands?
Do you know what, Marlon, brother? I wish I knew. It's like you look at it, and I started looking at it. We heard that, listen, one game a week, we should be fired up and ready to go. Then we heard the injuries, and when everyone comes back, things will change. And obviously these things have happened, and it wasn't. I don't know if the midfield at one point looked like it was non-existent. The creativity that we used to that we used to have every single game just looked like it was clueless and didn't know what it's doing. And then all of a sudden, bang, they switch it on. I can't put my finger on it. I really can't. But I thought after Eze with a wonderful free kick, I was like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. All this possession, and it was ridiculous. That one time I heard 81% at some points in the first half, and just to do nothing with it. I was just like, we haven't got a clue, but we found a way. We found a way.
Did you, Brian, feel like us that free kick was so weird? Like how we set up to it was so weird. It was like the wall seemed to be about 15 yards away, and then they had their wall, but nobody was blocking their separate wall. And it just seemed to me like he could just stroke it home from 20 yards. It was still well executed, obviously, but there just didn't seem to be enough players in the way of it. It was weird.
Well, you know what? Some of the things that we've been doing recently as well is giving away needless fouls, which we've got to cut out. And Benton Core was rash on this. And when you got someone with the skill of Eze behind the ball, you always know there's a chance no matter what they do. Yeah, but I am with you. It just looked. I don't know if you had it in the stage. In the studio as well. You just had a feeling with that free kick. Something's going to happen, and then obviously, as you luck, it did. It was a fantastic free kick, but yeah, the setup did not look right from us.
I wonder whether, in terms of talking about why we were able to play so well in that kind of last 20 minutes, I'd been talking a bit earlier on about because us having so much possession, like you said, 80-odd%, Palace were doing a lot of chasing all game, and I just wonder if fatigue started to set in a little bit in that last 20 minutes. Obviously helped by the fact that we equalised and then the kind of shift in momentum. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
You know what I will say, Barry, if people are big enough to criticise him, and this guy's coming for a hell of a lot of criticism, then you have to give praise where praise is due. Brennan Johnson, all right, he missed a sitter, and you could hear the moans and groans in the stadium and everyone. What he did to get that set up, that equaliser, the tenacity, the willpower, the commitment, and then to put a ball in like that for Timo Werner, who after the first half miss, which was awful, thankfully put that away and is now off the up and running. Brennan Johnson deserved an enormous amount of credit. Listen, I've given him a bit of criticism, but I've stood by him. And today, hopefully, we keep saying this with players, hopefully that's the spark that now does it. But I think this is what he needs to do, come on as an impact sub. That's what I think he originally came for to begin with. And he deserves a huge slice and a huge chunk of credit today.
Talk me through what your reaction and the rest of the pub's reaction was when Timo Werner tried to take it round the keeper.
Mate, you know what it was? Obviously, you look back at the Sun goal, and as soon as Sun was through 1-on-1, you knew it. It was one of those where you could put the ball back at the halfway line, you knew it was a goal. Yeah. Timo Werner, and I think what's being overlooked in it, we'll get onto the miss, is his incredible first touch to set him off and running. And then he was clean through and had the whole time, did the right thing taking the goalie round, but I think he should have taken one more touch just to get round him. And that was a sheer lack of confidence. I mean, he probably wanted the ground to swallow him up. Yeah. It was a howler. It really was bad. And you just thought this guy can't catch a break and low on confidence. And then thankfully he got that.
Yeah,
go on, Barnaby.
I'm just going to show my age here because that first touch actually was identical to Michael Owen's first touch in the Argentina
I was going to say that. Mate, I was
All of us
going
old
to say
enough to
that.
remember.
I was going to say that, but obviously I didn't want to test the water. Like you said, we're showing our age, mate. We're getting old.
We are.
But you're right.
said
It was
yeah,
literally Barnaby, the same place in the ground as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was
but
literally.
that
It was
first touch is harder technically than a finish than a finish. That, you know, I personally don't think he should have tried to take it round the goalkeeper. I think he'd got himself in a good position to just stroke it home exactly how Sonny did. But I agree with you completely. Confidence.
Yeah, that's what I think did it, Barnaby. I think if that had been Human Son in that position, it would have been 1-1, or sorry, 1-0 at the time, and he wouldn't have taken it around the goalkeeper. But when you're bereft of confidence and you just want to make absolutely sure,
Yeah.
he wanted to obviously nullify the goalkeeper, and he did to some extent. But then that one extra touch could have done it. But thankfully, he was able to take the second one. I mean, if he had missed that one, my God, the knives would have been out. But now he's up and running.
What did you think of the team selection then when it first came out today? Obviously, the main changes are Bentancur in for Sarr. Obviously, we knew Rishi was out, so Timo starting, and Royal keeping his place at right back.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's go for it. So, Royale, I really would like to see him Dragon Machine right back, because I believe I've been told he can play in that position. Don't quote me on it, but if he can, I would have liked to have seen him in that position. Sarr being out, I even tweeted about it saying I'm shocked at that, but I think from what I heard, he's got a slight strain and they didn't want to risk him. And I would have wanted to see Basuma out rather than Bentancur, even though Bentancur's been off the ball. So I was a bit bemused by that when I originally saw it, but I understand it. And we all knew that was going to be the front lineup, didn't we, with Richarlison now. I didn't know if he played Werner in the centre, but he went for Sonny in the front, in the middle, and it paid off. And now, hopefully, another week with rest and a huge game coming up next week. Massive.
Yeah. So Brian, you said you want to see Dragon Machine at right back. You would have liked to have seen it. But what did you make of Royale's performance in the end?
Do you know what? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Do you know what? I don't know what to say about this man. Like in the first half, he looked woeful. In the second half, he looked more. He had a better second half than he did first half. But I just don't know his determination in the second half. He got us out of jail with a mishap, with trying to press from the back, and he got in. But I just can't put my finger on whether it was a good performance from him, a bad performance, or just your typical normal everyday Emerson performance. I can't work it out.
Yeah, he's when you said I don't know, it actually made me think, me neither. He's such a weird player. He is such a weird player, but he's one thing you can't say against him is he's so willing. He gives everything. And actually, I think the thing you're talking about was it was Romero who was pressed, and actually Royale got us out of jail chasing back that time, didn't he? I think it would have been offside anyway, but he really puts a shift in, but also he's completely bizarre, I think.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You've got to look at it, Marlon, as well, and you've got to look at how people watch football.
Yeah.
If they want to see determination, try and commitment, they go, "Oh, I had a great game. He did this, he did that." But then if you look at some of his positioning or some of his passing, still his crossing is still. We all listen. We all know he can't cross a football, and he got put in the positions where he crossed it a couple of times. They went off. Alistair Gold once said, "The best thing you can hope for from an Emerson cross is a corner." That was last season. He said that, and do you know what? But it depends how you look at it with Emerson. People will say he's tragic. He had a woeful game. Some other people will say, "Do you know what? He gave everything. He gave commitment, desire, passion." It's how you look at what you want from your right wing back or right back, and I just can't put my finger on it. Which one I want or where I look at it.
He would be an unbelievable right back in a George Graham team. Do you know what I mean? Where he basically doesn't have to get forward at all and just defends, because he defends pretty well most of the time, I think.
Or a Jose Mourinho.
Sure. Yeah.
But like I said, we hopefully Porro's. But I mean, one thing you've got to agree, and you say it looks better when you got one of them in, as in Destiny or Porro, but you can tell the difference without them. With one of them, it's okay, but with two of them out, it's just no goer. And hopefully against Villa again, we have to win. Have to win. They'll both be back and ready.
I was saying to Marlon just before this show started that I think we look better with Son in the 9. What do you think?
Yeah, I think. Listen, I've been a fan of Richarlison. I think people will say that he's not good enough and he's not doing enough. he was scoring the goals that got us out of jail, and he was regularly scoring. But it's undeniable. The best outside is in the centre. I think there's some stupid stat where his goal for game ratio for playing in the centre is absolutely top draw. And I think he has to be there. He has to. If we want Champions League and we want to make false odds, he has to start in the centre. He has to.
I think he just looks after the ball a bit better, and he made some interesting little angles coming deep at times to try and move around their centre halves that I don't think Richarlison is quite clever enough to do. And then obviously, you know, that one-on-one, Richarlison wouldn't have actually had the pace to get away from the defender, I don't think, there. Which,
exactly.
That's just the way it is.
And we'll put it this way as well, Barnaby. If it was Richarlison going through one-on-one, do you have the same confidence as you do with Sonny going through one-on-one in positions like that?
Not really, no.
That's the thing. That's what it comes down to. With Sonny, we've seen him do it so many times, like the 3-1 at Leicester at Wembley. So many times where you see him pick up the ball from deep, running through, and you're just like, right, put the ball back at the halfway line because it's a goal. And he's brilliant at doing that. But as good as Richarlison has been, do we have the confidence to say, yeah, he's putting that in the bottom corner or putting it through and scoring the goal? I just don't know. But Richarlison has been good this season. He's got us out of jail a number of times, but there is a big difference between the two of them in the centre.
I'm going to say it now. Against Villa's high line next week, Werner and Son will have one-on-ones. Guaranteed. And if Sonny gets in one-on-one, you'd back him, especially against a good one-on-one keeper, Martinez, a lot more than anybody else. I think there'll be a lot of chances next week. It'll be a really fascinating game. Probably end up about 4-4.
Yeah, probably be a high-scoring game.
Mate, listen, forget the score, mate. This is Matty, Cash, and Romero coming together, and who's going to clatter into each other first?
Well, Cash won't go anywhere near him, will he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's probably put a restraining order out on him, Marlon.
Yeah.
They'll try and get Romero sent off for sure, but
100%, Mark Barnaby, 100%.
What's your prediction for that game, Brian?
Oh Jesus, why are you doing this to me? I'm gonna go 3-2 Tottenham just because I've got my Tottenham heart on. If I was to go with my Tottenham head, probably a 3-3 draw.
I don't know, maybe this will come back to bite me, but I actually just feel relieved in advance that we're not going to have to play a deep block.
Yeah, there is. I mean, listen, Villa, you got to remember, Villa at home as well are a different animal. They are a different animal. I mean, they're playing Luton right now. Let's just hope Luton can do a job for us. And then we go above them with a win at Villa Park. But it's a huge game. It's a must-win. We have to take advantage from these 3 points to keep in touching distance with them. Hope Manchester City can get the 3 points tomorrow and put Manchester United a bit away from us.
Yeah.
And capitalise on this opportunity.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Brian, mate, thank you so much for calling in. Have a brilliant rest of your night. Hope you're having a few drinks, mate.
Mate, as a recovering alcoholic, I'm having a few Cokes, mate. I'm having a few Coca-Colas.
Exactly what I meant. Exactly what I meant.
Exactly, man. I'm getting high on the sugar. I might do a few J2O shots just to mix it up.
Top man. Thanks again, Brian.
All right, boys. See you later on. Have a great weekend, people. Bye-bye.